Hey everyone, today we're going to create a graphic similar to this one. Let's get it. Okay, we're going to open up Photoshop. And we're going to create a new file. I like to export my files out to 1080 by 1350, so I like to double that in size. So that's what we're going to do here. I like to make my resolution 300, and we just go to create. All right, first things first, we're going to import the image that we're going to reference. All right, we're going to do something similar to this, but we're going to use Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. So first things first, we'll hide this for right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open up the picture that we're going to work with. I chose this one. Hit Command J. Just hide the background one. Select this, and you're going to go over here, and Photoshop has these quick actions that'll get you started in the right direction. It's not perfect, so you have to go in there and fix it and make it the way that you would like it so it looks good. What we're going to do is click remove the background. And it does a pretty good job for the most part, but it does miss parts like in here and in here and, leaving some edges around here. So what you're going to do, what I would do is I'm going to clear out all these right here. I'm going to select the P on the keyboard, or you can go over here and select the pen tool. What I'm going to do is create a path here, and then we're going to mask it out. So I'm just going to click in here. Click in here. All right, then I would right click, select make a path, and then I would hit G, or you can go over here, select the gradient tool, the paint bucket tool. The paint bucket tool. Then you would hit G on your keyboard, or you can come over here and select the paint bucket tool. Make sure black is selected and that you're on the mask, and you just click in here, and that would be gone for the most part. Command D. Then you would select B, or select your brush. Let's move the size down. Let's make sure the flow is up, and let's get the hardness up. Make sure black's selected and you're on the mask. And what you do is just get in here and get those red lines still out for the most part. All right. Sometimes it takes out more than you want to. So you can hit X and it'll switch your colors to the white, and white brings stuff back on the mask. And then you hit X again, it'll go to the black, and you can now erase again. And some of it's lighting actually on Josh himself, so you don't want to take too much of the object away. Okay, but that's what you would do all the way around until everything was perfect and looked the way that you would like it. So I'll come back when I finish mine, and then we can move on to the next steps. Okay, once you got your player completely cut out and it's the way that you would like it, what you would do is go over here, you would name it. Then I'm going to right click and go to convert to smart object, Command C, and then we'll go over here to our original document and hit Command V, and it'll post it there. I'm going to hit Command T, and we're going to raise that up. probably right in here, because I'm actually gonna put maybe some stats or something else in the image, and not just have a picture of them. But yeah, so about that height, go up here, I'm gonna select to the canvas, and then this is like how you will distribute the image to accordingly to the canvas. I like to put it in the middle there, and I can always adjust it just to my liking or your liking. So then we're gonna just exit out of this other one. We don't want to save that. So this is what we got so far. All right. And then I'm just gonna go down here, go to our adjustment layers. I'm gonna create a solid layer. We'll start with black first. All right. Once we get there, we'll move on to the next steps. Okay, next, we're gonna go to the image that we just pasted on there. We're gonna right click, make sure it's a smart object. If it's not, you can tell by this little icon right here. And then you wanna Command Shift A. And we're gonna bring the shadows up and the contrast. Then we're gonna go down to effects. We're gonna raise the clarity. And we're gonna raise some texture here. We're gonna hit OK. All right, next we're going to import an image that we're gonna use and give them that Terminator effect. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get something done. So you always just use what you know to your abilities and how you can get it done. So with that being said, I'm going to import the image. I'll also have these in a link in the description so you can download all these images. I'll put them all in a folder so you can just practice and try on your own. What we're going to do is place an embedded image. This is the image I selected. All right. And for the moment, we're going to put it right on top here. And then we'll hit Command T. And then we're just going to shrink it till it's right around the same size, you know. And I'm going to drop it below Josh. And then this one, I'm going to drop the opacity. And then I'm going to zoom in so I can kind of make their eyes match and the nose. And all right, it looks like it's still just a tad bit too big. Okay, we'll go with that right there. What we want to do is raise the opacity back up to Josh. And on this, the image that you chose that we have here, we're going to create a mask. And then we're going to select B. And then we're just going to delete that away. Right there, so you're not going to see any of that coming through the image. All right, next we want to select your player image. And what you're going to do is then put a mask. And select B to get your brush tool. You're going to bring the hardness down. You're going to bring the flow down. All right, and then right around this eye area, we'll begin to paint. And bring out the image below it. Like so. All right. As you can see, we now have the Josh Allen Terminator. And why you use the low flow and the low hardness is so it doesn't give a drastic change. It's kind of like softens up the edge there. You just kind of want to blend that image together. So what we're going to do is on the background image, I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to Command-Shift-A. And what I'm going to do is go to the light. I'm going to bring up the shadows and the contrast. I'm going to go down to the effects. And I'm going to raise the clarity, a little texture. I hit OK. All right. So that blended that a little bit better together. And what I'm going to do is select all of these. Not a reference image, but everything above it. I'm going to hit Command-G, and that's going to create a folder and put everything inside. I'm going to name that Design. So then I can compare the two when I have that open. See, they're similar, basically the same effect. So I'll probably throw some sort of a background on here, and I want to put some of his stats here. But next I'm gonna make some like cuts in his arm, so it kind of gives it even more of that Terminator effect. So we'll work on that moving next once you get to these steps, and then we'll move on to that. Okay, so now we're gonna try to put like some cuts on his arms and show like the metal through there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna file, I'm gonna place an embedded image. We're gonna work with this one first. All right, then what I'm gonna do is just select that. My brush tool. Make sure I got black selected. There's my color. And put a mask on that. Make sure the mask is selected. And we're going to paint on that. I'm going to bring the hardness up. Okay, because we just need this wound part here. Everything else is really irrelevant. Just getting down to the point of it. Okay, once we cleared that out, select our moving tool. I'm going to Command-T. I'm going to shrink that down. Zoom in a little. And I'm just going to rotate it. All right, now what we're going to do is take that image and we're going to drop it down below the Josh Allen layer. And then we're going to select the mask of Josh Allen again. We're going to hit B, bring out our brush. And we're going to make sure it flows low, and we're going to go down to the hardness, take that down. And we're just going to paint now, and we're just going to stop where where the wounds end, you know. See, we'll fix it with our colors here. We're just bringing it to the light, bringing it to it. Okay, so now we're going to hit the white, and we're going to bring back Josh's actual skin, just so we kind of blend those together. And you want to end it right where the wound ends. So it kind of fades those in together. All right, and when you back out, you can see it. It looks like he's part machine in there too, on that side. All right, and then for the other arm, I got another image. I'm gonna file. I'm gonna open it. And this one I'm gonna Command J. I'm gonna hide the background layer. We're gonna go up here and we're just gonna remove the background. Okay, that does a pretty good job for what we're trying to do. So basically I'm just gonna cut out, like the insides of here. Or actually I might just leave it here and work on something in there. All right. So we're gonna convert this to a smart object after we name it. I'm gonna name this left arm because that's where I'm gonna put it. Convert to a smart object. Command C. Go to our document. And I'm gonna hit Command V. For right now, I'm gonna bring it to the front of the picture. I'm gonna go to Edit, Transform, and I'm gonna flip horizontal. So now it's on the other side. I'm gonna shrink this a little. Make it a little bit bigger. All right. Then what I'll do is I'll drop that below. Put a mask on that layer. Hit B with a paintbrush. Make sure black selected. We're on the mask. And we're just gonna paint that away. So then you just see Josh, and I see I got some edges I gotta trim up and fix here. But then we want to select back on the mask of Alan. And then we just want to paint a little. Paint a little so you can see the metal kind of showing through. Okay, and then above the left arm, what we're going to do is create another layer with our brush tool. We're just going to paint like some shadow underneath to give it like some depth. All right, and I'm going to name that shadow. Actually, I'm going to name it left arm shadow. And then I'm going to link these together. All right. So you can see it's starting to come together now. You can see the layers starting to poke out. Also, what we want to do on those on those layers that we put underneath, we want to select them, Command Shift A. We want to bring up the camera raw, and we're going to bring up the clarity. Go to our light, we're going to bring up the shadows and some contrast just a bit. We're going to hit OK. And it kind of goes more with our image because that's the way that we put it. And you want to do that to the other one as well. So then once you do those steps, we'll come back and we'll move on from there. Okay, next I'm going to select this one right here and try to make these metals match a little bit better. I'm going to go back into the camera raw here. And what I'm going to do is maybe bring up the exposure so the metal's a little bit shinier. There we go. Then what I'm going to do is close these up. I'm going to make a new adjustment layer, solid layer, but this time I'm going to do white so we can see everything that we missed. We'll select the image that has that on there. That's going to be the first one that we imported. So what we do is select our brush. Make sure the hardness is turned up. This is stuff that we don't want on here. Turn the flow up too. Yeah, you can just pretty much paint. You can just, the only thing we want there is this part right here. So just want to make sure nothing else is there. All right, once we get there, we can move on to the next steps. Okay, what I did from the right arm, the wound, what I did was just copy that, and then I brought it over to the other side. And then I just painted away with the paintbrush the other metal, which revealed the first metal that we had below there. And then I just kind of left the scars or the blood there. So then it sat underneath him as sort of like some more cuts on his arm, like the skin, like on that side. And then it's just revealed through our mask here. Make sure we got everything named. All right, once we get there, we can move on most likely to the background. Okay, so next we're gonna work on the background. What I'm gonna do is select right here, and then I'm gonna go to File, and we're gonna place Embedded. And here's the background image that I have. We're gonna rotate it, and then I'm just gonna scale it out. All right. Then what I'm gonna do is do a solid color in our adjustment layer. I'm gonna make it red. And then I'm just gonna go to Overlay or Darken. Actually, I like Darken. All right, then that's the beginning of our background. So then we're gonna put a mask on the background layer that we just imported. And now what we're gonna do is try to make Josh blend in with the red. So what we're gonna do is go to adjustment layers. We're going to do a solid color. You can pick like any black, white, gray color. Then what you want to do is go to our adjustment layers, go down to color. And what we'll do is make a curves layer. And we're just going to try to make these images blend together. So pick a point. That looks fine to me. So we're going to go back to this color image that we had. It's going to delete it. And now the shades should be pretty similar to each other. Okay, next, we're going to select the image that we made earlier. Got them all in a folder so you can easily maneuver them or edit them. All right, so what we're going to do is make a gradient map. And it's going to be red to like a high white, the highlight's gonna be like a red. But we want to make the but what we want to do is make the shadows like the darkest red. So that looks pretty good to me. And then we're gonna give it a little bit of saturation. And then we'll do something in the middle. And then maybe something in the highs right there. Just hit OK. And then what we're gonna do is, for that gradient map, we're gonna drop the opacity down to around 50. And you can see that the darks and the mids have kind of now blend in with the image back behind it. And you can maybe even drop it a tad bit more. Okay. And then what you want to do is we can delete that white layer now. Just have a black layer behind that image. I'm going to select the mask here, and we're going to hit G. And we want to do a black to transparent gradient. And we're just going to drag that over top of this. Kind of give it some more depth and make it stand out a little. All right. Now that's looking pretty good. Everything's kind of flowing together. Lastly, well, actually, you'd put font, like maybe his name. So then we'll do that next. Once you get to those steps, we'll move on to the next. So I just went online. You can just download free Terminator font. That's what I searched, and that's what I downloaded. So you want to do is hit T on your keyboard, or go over here, and you can hit your text tool. Print it out. I'm just gonna write Josh. And Command J. And this one I'm just gonna write Alan. All right. And then I would basically just write some type of stat. So I searched for like some type of like computer font. So we'll just do this for here, and then it was called like Bitwise. It's a free one that you can just download. I just went through a few of them. I believe that's what it was called. Yeah. Just reminded me of like some old computer text. But I would write like 200. Command J that, drop it down. 4. I don't really like that 4, but you get the point. Basically, you would put like the stats over that, and or whatever you were looking to do. But lastly, after I would have that done, I'd go to my gradient maps one more time, And over top of everything, I would do like a purple orange, kind of like an action hero type of scene. I would go to my blend modes, and I would do screen, and then we're gonna drop the opacity all the way down, and then we'll bring it back in. Kind of gives it like a movie look, or like a movie poster type of look. Yeah, that's how I would make that. So please like and subscribe, share. We'll keep on making more graphics. Go Bills.